Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Business Direct. We are here with Victor Lathers, the CEO and founder of MJL Parking. We're going to be talking about his experience into entrepreneurship post HBCU life. So let's get into it. Hey Vic.
What's up? What's going on?
Good. How are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you reside, post college, what's going on, and then we will dive on in.
Well, my name is Victor Leathers. Been an entrepreneur for going on 6 years now. I own a parking service, MJL Parking here in Atlanta, Georgia. Is also where I reside. Yeah, I got into the business basically in college. I was working for a parking company, and after college, I moved to Atlanta where the parking company was actually based at, and it was my hometown. And I actually got into management and then worked for probably like two or three other companies in the same industry. And then one day just decided to start my own. And here I am now, 6 years later.
I love that. One, congrats on celebrating 6 years because if you can make it through five, they say that's when things
Right.
really start
Yeah.
to take off. Is that true? Let us know. Myth or fact?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely can agree with that because I mean, first 4 years, 3 years, like, very tough. I had a lot of success, a lot of failures, a lot of lessons learned. And this past year, which was the fifth year, 2020, I actually signed my biggest contract yet. So I could definitely agree with that statement.
In the middle of a pandemic. Ain't God good?
Right. Absolutely.
So, you told us that you definitely started this in college. You kind of came back to Atlanta and got more involved into the business. Were there any mentors along the way that really helped, or what truly sparked your interest in entrepreneurship and thinking like I could go do this?
Yeah, so of course, I got a marketing degree, business marketing. As a young kid, I always had like a entrepreneur mindset. I went to school as I knew I was going to go to college for business. I just never knew what business I was going to start. And even after college, I still had no idea what type of business I wanted to start. And shout out to my barber, good friend, who's also a business owner and alumni of Savannah State. Steph, everybody know him as Step. Me and him just had a conversation one day, and he was like, bro, why you don't start your own parking service? And I was talking to him. I was like, I don't know if I really want to be in that business. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you've been in it since we was in college. Like, you know the business. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you start your own? And it sparked the light bulb in my head, and I just started doing research, and I just started talking to people. I actually had a manager of mine in Savannah. We was like real cool. After work, we would like actually hang out and talk and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I used to talk to him about different stuff, and man, came up with a name, came up with a logo, stuff like that, and just got the ball rolling and just hopped out there, man. And that's what I'm saying, just took that leap of faith and just kept going.
Love it. So, how do we come up with the name? What does MJL stand for?
MJL is actually named after my kids and our last name. So M is for my daughter Maya, J is for my son Giovanni, and L is our last name Leathers.
Love it.
Yeah,
And
the
that's
whole
also from the
idea.
beginning, like teaching the next generation, like seeing
a-
this, like this is your namesake, like literally.
Absolutely, yeah. My whole idea to start this business, I didn't even start it for myself. I started to have something to leave for my kids. I want to. If I left this earth today, I want them to have something, not even to remember me by just saying, my dad started this, my dad left this for me.
Love it. Are they involved now in any type of way? Do you have like little helpers around the office?
They not involved yet, but my son is my son is only 6, and he's very eager to, what I'm saying, to start every day. He say somebody asks him what he gonna do. He's like, I'm gonna take over my dad business.
Oh, yes. Come on. We love raising little
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
absolutely.
Um, I know the journey has not been easy. I know you said you had a lot of successes and a lot of failures, and we definitely heard one of your biggest successes mentioned just now. Tell us about a time where you had a major failure and what you learned from that and how you bounced back from it.
So in 2000, I probably say 16, 17. I signed a nice little contract with a nice lounge here in Atlanta. Was making some good money. Didn't need a job. We had a good thing going. I would say I failed in this aspect because I never actually got a contract signed by the client. right? So weeks went on. We had a couple of disagreements. One thing led to another, and we basically, so he basically said, "Hey, we don't want to go with you anymore." And there was nothing I really could do because nothing was on paper that, far as a contract. So it was basically I was out of a contract, out of a, I would say, job. I had employees that was out of jobs because I lost that contract, and I wouldn't say it was something I did wrong. It was just that sometimes when let's say you provide a service, you provide a product, and say you provide it for certain people, and with that industry, I started in the nightlife, and those people, we won't talk about everybody, but what I'm saying, a lot of those people are very greedy and they want every dollar. So if they watch you do something for a while, they feel like they can do it. They're gonna try to do it themselves. They always trying to cut the middleman out. So that was a lesson learned for me, and I'll never go back to doing nightclubs again.
And not only that, just the importance of documentation, documentation, documentation. Like,
Absolutely.
paperwork is everything. If it's not on paper,
Yeah,
it's not real.
it doesn't mean
And especially
anything.
as an entrepreneur, like contracts are everything.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. So it was like I gave them a contract, but they never actually physically signed it. And we started out there without the contract. I was just so eager to get out there and start my first contract on my own. I didn't even think about the actual paperwork, you know what I'm saying? Then we had it going and we was making good money. We had a good business relationship between me and the client, but that doesn't mean anything nowadays when it comes to business. But what I'm saying, I learned that the hard way, and I tell people every time, every day, like younger people ask me about things, and I said, if you don't do anything, get a contract signed. Don't ever do business without a contract. I don't care if it's just for an event, a one day thing, get a contract signed that legally, what I'm saying, upholds anything that anybody else can say that's not in that contract.
Yeah, agreed. You talked about shifting a little bit. Tell us how you went from nightclubs into more of the restaurants and weddings and parties. And I see you also have some partnerships with some dealerships now. Tell us a little bit
Right.
about that.
Absolutely, yeah. So when I first started, my first couple of contracts were nightclubs because I had a couple of connects in the nightclubs, in the nightlife industry here in Atlanta. And I had a few, and they all were the same. Like all the nightclub owners were greedy. And they would try to cut, like I said, they would try to cut. And it wasn't just me; they would try to cut the middleman out. They really wasn't into hiring another business to help them run their business. They wanted every dollar. And that was one thing that shifted me away from nightclubs. And then another thing was just the liability issue and
Mm,
aspect of it. I did some nightclubs that had some very dangerous nights, and I was just glad to be away from them. Now, even when I wasn't there, I was just thinking like that's a liability issue for my company if something happened to one of my employees while they're on the clock, and it has nothing to do with them being in the vehicle. So it's a lot of things like that that made me just want to shift away from that. That made me shift away from that, and it was better money for me to shift to restaurants and car dealerships. And I've always done private events since the beginning. Like I've been doing those even before I started doing clubs and stuff.
oh, love that. Also, how did you scale? Like, kind of gaining capital. What were some things that, as your business started growing and you needed capital to invest, how did you do that and grow?
Um, so one major way that I've been able to scale and gain capital, I want to shout out another another black business owner from Savannah State,
Come on with it.
my good friend Taquan Burney and Cameron Simmons. Those of you that do know him, we all started I'm gonna say they started a financial literacy program. I just joined in with them as well. Um, what I'm saying, teaching about credit, teaching about the foreign exchange market, drop shipping, and real estate. And those type of things, and that education helped me to fix my credit, helped me to learn other ways to make income. Because what I was doing at first to get capital for the business, I was working jobs. Saying I was working 9 to 5s and trying to run my business at the same time, and I ran into a lot of problems trying to do that. And
Mhm. I can only
once they
imagine your sleeping schedule, trying to be at the nightclub and then trying to be at the
right,
job at 9
yeah,
in the morning. Like, it's something ain't working.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Thank God I don't have to do that again no more. But yeah, but with wealth builders, you know what I'm saying? Like we teach you all those things and we just teach people how to make income outside of a job. And I took a lot of that and learned it and made a lot of good income that I was able to put towards my not in my personal life but my business as well. So I thank God for that because you know that makes it a lot easier, especially now that with me working in business and even with us during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, my business was basically shut down just like any other business. But I still had those options with doing Forex, with doing drop shipping and doing stocks and all that stuff because you know what I'm saying you can work that on your own. You don't need no you don't need no employees or nobody else contract to do that. So that was a good thing.
Love that. Speaking of, what is some advice you would just give to anyone starting out in entrepreneurship? I love the idea of diversifying your portfolio or what you do business in. So, what else would you suggest for a budding entrepreneur who is still just trying to figure it out?
I would say, you know, just make sure you do your research on whatever product or service you want to offer. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you figure out your client base that you want to go after because that's very important. Um, and just, you know what I'm saying, kind of look at your competition. You know what I'm saying? Not look at them as competition, but look at them as motivation and grab ideas from them as well. Me personally, like I said, I worked for, man, I probably worked for 3 or 4 other parking companies before I started my own, and I took things that they did and I, you know, what I'm saying I implemented it in my business. Like I took some of the stuff that I liked that they did, and I took some of the stuff that I didn't like, and I said, hey, I would never do things this way. You know what I'm saying? And basically, that's how you know what I'm saying, that's how you get ideas for your business because you might have a great business idea, or you might say, hey, I want to start, I don't know, a t-shirt printing company, but you have no idea what kind of equipment that you need to print t-shirts or how to print t-shirts or something like that. And another thing, if you can find you a mentor in your business or that has done your business before, um, about 3 years in, I found the guy, an older guy. He became my mentor. He had the same business I did, but he was doing like a different dynamic in it. He was just doing like parking lots and you know some airport parking. And I know his niece because I went to school with her. And she called me one day. She said, "Hey Vic, my uncle's looking for some help in parking. I know you do parking too, so I want to connect y'all." And you know what I'm saying, never knew that business relationship would turn to a great personal relationship and him being a great mentor for me. So he gave me a lot of advice about business and about the business itself and um, just how to operate and what I should be doing. And he was like, man, if you can do this, certain things, he was like, you can do this, you can scale. He's like, certain things I never could do, but I see, you know what I'm saying, as a young man, you probably can do. So that was a great thing to have him as a mentor. And I still talk to him all the time. Like we'll sit down and have an hour conversation, you know what I'm saying, just about business.
Yeah, that's awesome. What I'm hearing from that is being opening to learning and listening. Like you literally said 3 years in, that came. So just really being open to what's going on, to new experiences, and to people who have done it before. Game changers.
Right. And utilize, I would say, utilize the free resources that you do have. No people know it, but SBA.org and Small Business Administration is a website full of free resources where you can find information about your business. You can take different type of classes. You can find government contracts. It's a huge website full of free resources. So people should definitely utilize that and take a look at that.
Oh, that is a great mention. Also, if some people are looking for loans due to pandemic assistance, please head on over to SBA.gov. You never know if they're going to say yes or no to you. I want to say you just have had to have started your business by February of 2020. So, hey, go
Yeah.
in, check it out. To Vic's point, it is a great resource. I was surprised that I actually got approved for a loan from them. So, and
Mm-hmm.
being able to pour that into my business. So just look around. You never know what's going to be out there, and never be afraid of no is what I want to say. When are some times that you got to know that although you didn't get the answer you were looking for in that moment, it opened up the door to something greater.
Absolutely. One thing about it is, man, out of 100 clients, I say 90% are gonna say no. But you don't need all 90 or 90% to say yes. You just need maybe five. You know, just think about it, 5 clients, and you add up those dollars. They're gonna add up. Because I probably say, I don't know how many clients, people I didn't talk to, and gave them my card, sent them emails, and don't be afraid of no. You know what I'm saying? No is just a redirection to yes. You know what I'm saying? You think this is a good idea for your business, but really, you know what I'm saying, that may not be the plan that God has for you or your business. But I think on a larger scale, like just because this time client turned me down doesn't mean the next one's gonna turn me down. You just got to keep going and use that as motivation.
Absolutely. Speaking of motivation, I'm sure family is also one way that keeps you going. How do you maintain work-life balance being a family man, running a business, and also just maintaining your own personal life?
You just got to find time from all of it. You just got to have time management. I try to work early in the day, and be home most of the night. Try to be home like I would say 5 or 6, unless I have something else going on. And I give the weekends are for my family and for my personal time. I try not to work on the weekends when I don't have to, but I definitely, I definitely dedicate that time to my family. And even if I'm busy all week and maybe all weekend, let's say like I got a busy month because my clients, they have a lot of volume coming in, stuff like that. Like I would say at the dealership, November and December was pretty busy. But at the same time, maybe once December ends, the 1st of January, you get some time for your family. Like me and my wife, we like to do small stuff with our kids just to make them, give them memories. Even if it's just once or twice a month. I mean, once every 2 months, stuff like that. We try to make the best memories we can with them.
I love that because that time is important and you don't get it back. So
Absolutely.
great. What is anything else that you want to share with the budding entrepreneur, especially someone from an HBCU, especially a marketing student? Um, you know, Definitely, shout out to Cova and all of our professors out there. But there are so many things that you think you learn in school, and then you start a business and you're like, no one taught me this. Like, what would you say to the
Yeah.
person in that position that's really just trying to figuring it out, or is really trying to figure it out, but doesn't even know where to start?
I'm gonna say your first 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe even 5, you're gonna learn a lot of lessons that you definitely wasn't taught in the classroom. The classroom doesn't teach you how to go in and sit down with um, different cultures or different demographics or different type of industries and say, hey, this is what they want to hear. This is what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Those are stuff you're going to have to learn on your own. They don't teach you how to, if a client is saying this or saying that, how to respond to their emails or certain. They don't teach you, say, hey, the client is, saying they sounding like they're upset in their email and they're going off on you. They don't teach you how to sit back and say, hey, relax a little bit before I reply to this email. Let me get 5 minutes to myself and think about something.
Or let me
Think
type
about
up
the
what I
most.
want to say and then delete
Yeah,
it and
yeah,
start
yeah,
over.
yeah. Let me say what I want to say in my head and then send a very professional reply, because I mean, I've been there at times, man. Like I get these emails all the time, like they say all type of crazy stuff, and I'll be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna give them 5 minutes to relax, and I'll relax myself," you know. And just never be afraid to have tough conversations with clients or employees and stuff like that. Remember that at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, it's your business. It's how you gonna put food on your table, put clothes on your back. So what I'm saying, it's gonna be some tough times where just tough things, like you might hire your best friend and what I'm saying, they work for a client, but the client doesn't like them and they say, hey, we want to replace them. You may have to fire your best friend because they don't like them. And it's tough times like that. Like I've had to let people go or, what I'm saying, move them because, hey, my client isn't happy. My client pays me. I don't pay. You don't pay me. So, it's going to be some tough times and just, what I'm saying, just sit back and, think it over before you make rational decisions, before you send quick emails, quick replies and stuff like that. You may ever get cussed out as an entrepreneur. Like I haven't been cussed out by a client, but I've had a conversation with a client where they felt like it was okay to curse in the conversation. I'm just looking at them like, okay, like I got you. Like, okay, you really, like, you just got to sit back and just say, hey, man, just stay professional as possible. So my biggest thing is, as young Black entrepreneurs, especially young Black entrepreneurs, they, you know what I'm saying, they look for us not to be as professional as we are. They look for us to, you know what I'm saying, not have the look, not have the lingo, not, you know what I'm saying, not play the part as a business owner. But you know what I'm saying, just go in there and prove them wrong. Kobe, if Kobe taught us anything, they taught us how to look the part and
Yes.
play the part of an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a lot. That says a lot. Like a lot of times I go talk to clients, they'll tell me, say, hey, you know, Vic, we like you personally, you know what I'm saying? They may have some issues with the people I have working there, but they like, personally, we like you, Vic, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna work with you, you know what I'm saying? And that means a lot to me because, you know what I'm saying, if they like me, then I can get them like my employees. If not, then I replace them until I get some more. So
Hey, and that's a part of management. Like you said, you have to make the client happy at all costs. And so it is about creating a team, but then it's about shifting and moving that team if one team member doesn't vibe with a certain client's personality. Because, like you said, the client is what keeps all these lights on for everybody. Okay.
nah, for real. Definitely a big fact.
Oh, well, before we leave, is there anything else you want to say? Also, please let us know how to stay in contact with you and how we can hire your business if we are interested in where to go.
You can follow my business on all social media platforms at MJL Parking. My website is mjlparking.com. If you want to follow me personally, my Instagram is CEO Vic10. Other than that, man, I just want to salute anybody that has an entrepreneur mindset or even starting to think about being an entrepreneur. Special shout out to Cobra students at Savannah State. I would like to say thank you, Malisa and Brittany, for even having me on your platform and allowing me to share my story. That's all I got.
Aw, Vic, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. We wish you all the best. Continue to shine and do what you do. And know we will be sitting here watching and highlighting in any way that we can.
All right, I appreciate it.